Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Mod Golf YouTube channel. I'm your host, Colin Weston, but today we're going to mix it up a little bit here. We're going to do something different, which we've done in the past. I'm not going to be having the conversation. Our guest host is going to be doing that, and that for the second time on the show is Dr. Greta Anderson. So I'm not even going to do a spoiler of who our guest is this week. I'm going to leave that to her. So Dr. Greta, good to see you again, and take it away.
Take it away. I'm taking it away. It's good to see you, Colin. So let's not even waste time because we've got a rock star in our midst. Today, we are spending a little bit of time with Miss Deborah Smith, innovator, athlete, educator, all the things, as we like to say, right? And so welcome to the My Golf YouTube channel. Welcome. So glad to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Greta, and thank you, Colin. That you are starting the 11th season, and so happy to be your first guest.
As you know, when we met, I said, okay, I've got the place where we need to talk, right? There's so much to learn from you. And I want to remind folks that we've had a great conversation. You aren't going to be able to get it all here. I want you to make sure that you go over and check out the Mod Golf podcast found wherever you find your favorite podcast. And while you're at it, just go ahead and follow it because it's just that awesome. You need to listen to it every single episode. 11 seasons, that'll tell you something. But I digress. So welcome. I'm so excited to be back in conversation with you. And we've talked about a ton of things. And like I said, a lot of our conversation, folks, you're going to have to go someplace else to check it out. But I do want to dive in and just, maybe give people a quick, if that's possible, a quick summary of your life and how you've arrived here as an innovator in terms of limb difference, excuse me for stuttering there, and prosthetics and the science behind it and all this cool stuff.
Well, thank you, Dr. Greta. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a consultant in the prosthetic space. Specifically, I help young companies with emerging technology and prosthetics with their business development and getting the word out about what they are doing to impact people's lives with limb difference. So, for example, I work with about a half a dozen small companies. One of them has a breathable liner for people with lower limb difference, which is evolutionary in terms of the perspiration that we experience. Another company has a bionic hand. It's the first hand capable of touch feedback for the user, and also one of the fastest in opening and closing. I'm a mentor with the Amputee Coalition, as well as Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, which puts me in touch with many people across the country with limb difference and understanding the challenges that we face and the opportunities we have, like golf.
Yes, like golf. So in I won't say in 10 words or less, because that's not even possible. But if you gave us a short list, what are, as you view it, what are the amazing opportunities for the game, for the health and the wealth of the game that people like yourself, women, with disability, prosthetic user, innovator, all those things, what are the opportunities for the golf industry? Because I don't think they may, I'm saying they, but I'm not sure the industry is quite aware of the opportunity in front of it.
I think you've got a great point there, Dr. Greta. I recently read a Syngenta report that was done that estimated that women's golf, there's a $35 billion global economic value opportunity there.
Big number.
That's a big
number.
number. And when you keep in mind that women who play golf spend on average $950 a year, start doing the math. I also have heard that 450,000 women picked up a golf club last year for the first time.
That's a big number.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great number. I love to hear that.
Yes.
Now, I heard you mention in our a little bit earlier, you were talking about when you look at say golf clothes and things like that. You don't see you.
Oh, certainly. So, for example, when I go on a website and I'm looking for golf clothing or shoes or equipment,
Mhm.
I'm, typically seeing guys
Mm. Yeah.
of a certain age and not many women. And certainly, I've really not any women with disabilities. And when you don't see yourself on a website, whether it's to buy merchandise or, for example, even getting on some of the adaptive golf websites to look at tournament dates,
Mhm.
I'm seeing a lot of my male friends who are adaptive golfers, a group of them, the camaraderie and whatnot, but there aren't women there. So when you see something like that, you're thinking, oh, there might not be many other women that are playing, and
Mhm.
what's that going to be like? So it certainly would be helpful. I have to say, I give credit to Tail. They recently brought on Amy Bockerstadt
Yes.
as one of their ambassadors, and I had the good fortune and pleasure of playing with Amy in Mesa
Ah,
at the US DGA tournament.
okay.
What a pleasure. She's just delightful. Her parents are also, and a great ambassador of the game.
She
But
absolutely is
more,
an amazing ambassador of this game.
yes.
And,
So
and
more
her ads
visibility
are
like
great. I've
that.
seen her ads and tell. I'm like, go Amy, she's rocking it.
Yeah, she's cute as ever. I mean,
Yes, she is. She
but
is.
but more visibility like that, I think, would be so helpful, and especially in terms of the PGA's efforts to grow the game.
Mhm.
There's discussion about wanting to show that it's more inclusive in terms of age, gender, race, ethnicity. Well, disability and disease processes do not discriminate amidst any of those groups. I
That's
mean,
right.
it encompasses all genders, what have you.
Right.
So in one fell swoop, they could handle that.
Well put. Right. Just figure it out. Right. It's doable. I mean, I know I said it
Exactly.
facetiously, but it is doable and achievable with a bit of intention to giving that attention. All right.
I
So
like that.
yeah, the intentional attention, one of my favorite phrases. So let me ask you this question as we kind of round things out here, because you and I could talk all day. But if there's a lady, we'll say a lady in particular, a woman sitting at home or somewhere, and maybe she's been on a journey where now has some limb difference or some other disability, but she is ready to go out and perhaps kind of find her tribe. She's looking for something new and different to do. And maybe golf has crossed her mind, maybe it hasn't. But let's just hope it has. But what would you say to her? She's kind of on the couch like, I saw that same brochure that, Deborah was talking about, and there were all guys on there. I stopped by the facility and it didn't look very inviting at first blink. What would you say to her to help get her over the hurdle in terms of coming on in to the game of golf?
That is a great question. I would suggest looking at some of the adaptive golf organizations,
Okay.
getting on their websites, because there are so many clinics available across the country. USAGA in the Midwest, but I mean, they encompass the whole country, but specifically in the Midwest, there are many opportunities. I live in the state of Illinois. There are many free clinics. As we referenced in the podcast and went into a little bit deeper dive, GSGA, where you are in Atlanta, Dr. Greta,
Yes.
is just doing a phenomenal job with clinic. With the help of David Windsor, who is adaptive golf coach extraordinaire. If you don't want to golf after going to one of David's clinics, then you must be asleep.
Oh, oh, oh.
And I would think the same thing would be true of your clinics, Dr. Grata,
We try to
because
keep them fun. We do keep them fun.
yeah, so you just bring so much enthusiasm to the game. And another thing is simply, if you see a woman, such as myself on social media or whatnot, reach out. We want to be ambassadors for the game. We want to see more women playing. I mentioned in the podcast about one of the male players referring to me as a mermaid.
Yes.
Because
that story is a great one, but you're going to have to listen to the podcast for that one.
Exactly. So I want to find more mermaids.
Yes.
Come join us on the course.
I'm swimming on the course, right? That's my mermaid invitation there. Well, like I said, we could talk for a long time, and there's, of course, so much ground to cover because we love golf. I just love speaking with innovators, and it's inspiring. You're inspiring at so many levels. And so I've got to tell you folks again, I'm going to remind you, check out the Mod Golf podcast. This will be episode 1 of season 11. So it's going to be a great way to kick things off. And I want to also remind you to make sure that you always check out the Mod Golf YouTube channel right here for videos like this. It'll give you great insights because, this is a little bit different than what we talked about over there. But I want you to do both because that's the way you get the full coverage. And so I just want to thank you. Is there anything else you want to share? I do want you to let people know where to find you real quick again.
Oh, certainly. Best way to find me is DeborahSmith.com, DeborahSmith.com. And I will have links to the podcast that Dr. Greta referenced and also this YouTube.
Yes. And you're on Instagram, right?
I am. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, I believe, as the number 2, Deborah Smith.
Excellent. So she's out there, folks. Find her. And support her, support the great game of golf that we all know and love, support the diversity of golf. Let's grow this game. Let's really grow the game, folks. So I hope that you're enjoying this, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks, Colin, for having me, and support the Mod Golf podcast. In the meantime, take care and see you in the fairways. Bye-bye.